are live. Episode 8, Grip the Grain. Welcome. We've taken about a 1 week break. Kind of let things kick into gear and battle some anxiety and depression. That was kind of my week. So
it's been a fun week.
This is going to be a very unique episode for us, especially moving forward. We don't want it to be a one-off kind of thing. Definitely want to learn to be understanding and patient with mental health issues.
Absolutely. Which is something that people don't talk about nearly enough.
Yeah. We're here again with the coveted Steven Dockler, the Doc Sauce.
What's up, everybody?
Seems to be a fan favorite. He's got like 3 fans, and it's good enough for us.
Yeah, my mom has 2 separate accounts, and then she got my aunt to do another one.
Nice. Oh, so you're up to 4 fans.
Yeah.
I like it.
Almost enough for an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So, just kidding. That's not the right. It's not the right context.
There's a reason why all of his episodes are audio only.
He's got a face for radio.
He does.
My mom's going to listen to this, guys.
I mean, I hope so.
She's going to listen to it 3 times.
My dad listens to it.
Yeah, no, she's going to be upset. She's going to write in.
She's gonna.
Yeah, she's going to write a strongly worded letter.
She's gonna write through like pigeon carrier.
Yep. Don't you make fun of my boy.
He's got a 700-year-old Jewish mother from New York.
Yeah.
She'll tune me.
Shout out to Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Happy Jew Year.
Happy high holy days to all the Jewish listeners. Hope you guys ate well and enjoyed family, friends. I kind of like love that it's not, nowhere near like the American New Year celebration, and like the calendar's just different. I'm not Jewish, so it doesn't like when any Jewish holiday comes up, I don't know it's coming. So
yeah, I don't do as well as I probably should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on a different calendar.
Oh,
so
you mean you're not like a devout Jew?
He means he's Jew-ish.
Yeah. So
That's good. Terrible joke, James. What the hell's wrong with you? I actually have never heard that
They
before.
can't all be winners. Really?
I've actually never heard that before.
No. Clearly, you did not grow up in Cooper City.
No, I did not. I think we talked about that in the first few episodes.
Yeah.
But, so we definitely decided beforehand that we wanted to address something I think many of us are dealing with, especially in 2020.
Uh-huh.
I like to think that I am a very strong-willed, don't give up, just be strong for everybody, your family. Culturally, that's kind of how it is in the African American community. Mm-hmm. And I just almost never knew what it was like to have a legit panic attack and a legit like day-to-day struggle. It was about, we didn't record for a week, but it started, a little bit before that. Like, it was like 10 days, I was going through like this really weird, it was anxiety. It was anxiety. I went and got some help and talked to some people at the VA, and they helped me realize that it was anxiety mixed with some, moderate depression. And I feel very ashamed that I never, I've never like given this, more, not credit's not the right word, but more attention and understanding and patience, towards people who deal with this shit.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of listeners right now deal with different levels of anxiety and, depression, anxiety. I had no clue that it was something that wasn't just like a figure of speech. Mm-hmm. I sound like an asshole, and I get that. And I made it very clear to everyone who's reached out to me. Because I made a post. If you are Facebook friends with me, I made a post, and I'm talking over 300 reactions, 200 something comments, another 100 something private messages, another 50, 60 phone calls. I sound like I'm complaining, and I am not. I just did not expect me opening up about my, mental health was, one, brave and courageous as people said I was. I didn't look at. I said, a lot of my military friends deal with this shit. I know 2020 hasn't been easy, and my goal was to just put myself out there for the sake of my friends, not even like for non-military people,
Sure.
Which is ignorant, but that was the truth. And the way that people responded clearly put a foot in my mouth, and it showed me this is some grade A scary shit. And I have to be the first to admit that, one, I'm sorry that I have not been more sensitive to it, and two, this is something that I am not going to let defeat me, at least as long as I'm in my like functional sound mind. You know?
A big part of the issue, and part of why I think so many people responded to what you put out there, is that because of the way our society works and the messaging that is out there on a lot of things, like, it's not talked about. It's viewed as, if you have some sort of mental health issue that you're dealing with,
Right.
that it means you're crazy.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. Like, there's crazy, like Lorena Bobbitt cutting her husband's dick off.
Right.
And then there's your everyday anxiety and depression, which
Right.
is still like...
I clumped all those into one,
Yeah.
which is not true, and
a lot of people
not fair
do.
too, right? Because that's the fucking issue and the problem that people have with opening up anyway.
Right. And we're taught, for some reason, we're taught that men especially are supposed to be able to just like tough through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, be a man, deal with it, you'll be fine.
Right.
And if instead,
And it's not just men to men. It's it's women to men too. Like, it's,
Oh, yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
Problem, it's a
The
problem
entirety
across the
of-
board. There's
our whole society for some reason like
Yeah.
has this stigma against it, when it's an incredibly high amount. Something like 30% of Americans have some form of anxiety or depression.
sure.
So, like, it is incredibly common. It is also very, very much so not dealt with. Like, so many people don't do anything for it. And I'm not necessarily talking about medication, but, like, even just talking to people about it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, whether it
just
be-
talking.
Yeah,
Just talking.
Literally talking, as opposed to just, like, holding all your shit inside your brain and slowly getting worse and worse and worse until you burst.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head that society has made it difficult for us to express our feelings without feeling judged. I mean, social media has a huge impact on that.
It does, yeah.
And obviously, overall structure of our society.
Yep.
And like you said, 30% sounds probably right, maybe a little on the lower end
Right.
of it. And with 2020 being as insane as it is, I mean, they say
Fucking crazy.
Way worse. Yeah.
crazy.
Like,
They say,
just-
during election years,
Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, if it's, not to cut you off. It doesn't matter how intense and crazy your year is. This took everyone out of whatever element you were in. Like, there's not an entity or a body of people that were not of maybe New Guinea. I don't, but fucking like everybody, for the most part, the world kind of like not stopped, but it slowed the fuck down.
significantly. Hey,
Yeah,
it's-
man, we're on
Yeah,
March 240th today.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
That month never ended.
No.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's exacerbated all these, and John, you're a great example that it's these were underlying issues probably for some time. This wasn't like a brand new thing that just popped up.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
underlying. It wasn't very significant. It didn't affect you a whole lot. And then the extreme stresses of this year and quarantine, they compound and they compile, and it ends up coming at you. And it's good that, like you said, it was courageous doing that.
Yeah. And it shouldn't have to be. But because of the stigma about talking about it, it is.
Right. And I think that the focus, especially this episode, we're going to really spend a lot of time, most of the time, talking about this. We want people to understand, we are three dudes here who know each other very well, and there's never a moment where we don't feel like we can open up, and we still don't talk about it.
Right.
Like, that's kind of how that's the stigma, right? That's how suppressed and oppressed the actual entire thing is, and it's scary because I firsthand feel like I've gone through so much shit in my life, harder than the average person. I don't think I'm better. I don't think that I am more special. I just think that I'm blessed to still have a sound mind and still be able to smile and be happy and excited. But I think it was about 4 straight days. It was a total accumulation of about 7 days from start, got to its worst, peaked, and then gradually gotten better, 7 days. But in the middle, when I tell you for 24 hours, I was not in my head, and I was looking almost as if I was a ghost, looking at myself, feeling myself think, seeing myself move, but not feeling like I was in my body. It's the craziest thing. And then you're talking to whoever's around, my girlfriend, my kids, and I'm apologizing constantly because I'm sorry. I know this sounds crazy, but I don't know what's going on. I feel like something bad's gonna happen to me. I feel like my life is gonna end, and I'm not gonna be there for my kids. We all naturally fear things we can't control, but it's so natural that we learn to live with it from a very young age. And we all know we're gonna die one day. None of us here are like, I'm gonna live forever, optimistically thinking that just by chance, I'm gonna live forever, or I'm gonna whatever, So for me to think so heavily that something was gonna happen to me, I knew I wasn't myself, And then on top of that, I was reading up on it because, like I said, this was very new for me. Your mind can make your fucking body do crazy shit. So I felt like I was having a mini heart attack. I felt like my stomach was I had no appetite. I ate soup for 3 days, once here and there. Barely could drink. I would drink water because I felt like that's sustenance, right? And then I had no interest, no drive, no motivation to do anything, and that's not me ever.
Yeah.
So.
But what it is depression.
Yeah. Well, so it wasn't. I think it was more anxiety. It was more anxiousness, and I couldn't even tell you why. Because everything in my life, all things considered, is very good. I'm healthy. My family is healthy. My youngest son, Theo, is doing. You couldn't even tell he spent 81 days in a NICU, and
no, he's a tank,
and coded twice, and just whatever, and had these heart issues. You would never know, because everything is relatively good. I'm still fortunate to work from home. My bills get paid. There's always food. We eat well. I'm not wealthy by any means, but I'm comfortable. And for me to disregard all of that and legitimately feel like a boulder is on top of me, I mean, it made me cold. And if anyone knows me, I'm huge and I run very hot. I need the air on 68, but it was on 75 and I was in sweats under a tiger blanket, a Korean mink tiger blanket. Some of you have been fortunate enough to see this blanket in person. Those of you who have not,
he bought it from Carol Baskin.
Be goddamn jealous.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of amazing. It's like a weighted blanket, but softer than any weighted blanket you've ever felt. And it's gorgeous to look at. It's a fucking tiger. Anyway, but I was freezing cold. So clearly something was wrong with me, but when you are going through anxiety, you don't have time to thoroughly think about things. You just worry.
Yeah.
You're just anxious. And so, you know, I think 2020 has punched a lot of us in the gut. Like Steven said, without us really realizing it, it's things that have built up, you know, accumulation of things that we've dealt with and suppressed over extended periods of time or short periods of time. And I think we should talk about it.
Yeah.
I think we should be open about how we feel and address it head on, because so far that has been I've been prescribed, you know, mood enhancers and stuff from the doc, and I have yet to take it. I have like severe acute, you know, panic attack medication, and I have a daily mood. I haven't taken any of it. I've just been eating healthier, working out, and addressing my shit head on, like telling myself that this is my issue. And I understand that is how I'm handling it, and I want to be cautious with what I say about how you should handle it, anyone in general. I want people to maybe take this method and try it. A few people suggested it, and I ran with it, and it worked.
Sure.
So
I would also imagine like having the emergency medication on hand probably also helps, even if you're not using
Absolutely.
it. Like just knowing that there is a safety mechanism.
It's like
present.
why people have guns.
Sure.
People have guns. I am definitely pro, you know, Second Amendment because of my military service, and I've trained and been proficient in my weapons, and I feel comfortable having it. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think you should ever fucking own or keep a weapon in your house if you're uncomfortable with it, or if you're even the slightest bit scared of it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That would be less than ideal.
There's people who think they should just have one in the house because it's like protection, but they're terrified of how they hold it, or they don't shoot it as often because it scares them when they pull the trigger. Shit like that. Like it's an issue. But
that would be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, not to get on, you know, we're not going down the gun tangent, but
No, but it's all about comfort,
Right.
yeah.
right? You just want to make
comfort.
yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Addressing the things that you can control. Reminding yourself. Music has been one of my biggest things in my life that has always saved me. I listen mostly to hip hop, R&B, but I literally spent 16 years playing the drums when I was younger, and I taught myself how to play the drums to classic rock and a lot of southern rock. So a lot of Leonard Skinner and you know, Allman Brothers. So for me, I know what I can try to pick at, you know, but I think it's important for us to recognize not everyone is always going to be that clear-headed to be able to make a decision to do that. Sometimes it's good to know that you don't know. And I think, Stephen, that's what you told me kind of when I was going through it. You were just say it again for, you know, for the listeners.
Yeah. So, you know, again, just like John said, I'm not a mental health professional. I don't advocate for anything. I can only tell my story and how it happened to me. And I had a pretty rough time about 10, 12 years ago in my 20s. Just life was rough. The economy was rough. I was just graduating college. There was no jobs.
Yep.
I was very fortunate to have a friend of mine who works in the mental health sector and had some very good insight and was very much into slowing down your brain.
Okay.
When you get into those headspaces of thinking about all those negative things that do get you upset. And speeding up the other things, the fun times and things like that. You need to reverse that cycle and slow down the happy times and keep yourself busy listening to music.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me that, like, what do you like? I had a lot of people tell me that, right? Mm-hmm. That they kept saying, what do you like? What do you like? And I'm like, what kind of weird question is that right now? Like, what do you mean? What I like vanilla ice cream. I like chocolate ice cream. I like, what do you? They're like, no. What do you like to do? What makes you happy? you know, and normal John in his day to day when he's a sarcastic asshole is like, well, I like a big butt.
You cannot
You know,
lie.
I like, you know, this and this and that. But no, for reals, I love music. I love playing with my kids. I like to know that people are happy if I can do something to make them happy. And that's what I did. I focused on my son Lincoln's 3rd birthday. I started planning in my head, taking notes, like taking myself out of my head as much as I can. We went on more walks than normal, you know, exercising, running. I forgot what heat game it was, but that day I kicked my anxiety's ass by I think I ran more than I had. I probably ran on and off 2.5, 3 miles. It's more than I've done probably the entire quarantine, right? I did 150, 200 push-ups. And this is at 12 o'clock. It was so fucking hot and humid. I got so black because I was shirtless. And before the anxiety, I started Herbalife. So I was doing this workout thing to kind of keep myself accountable, like on Snapchat and Facebook. Like, worked out today. I can't do it once and then not do it. And people are like, yeah, how's that routine going?
Yeah.
Fat ass, you know, whatever. And so I'm like, no, I'm going to do this, but it worked, man. You saw how he's like, dude, drink a body armor, eat a banana, get some electrolytes in your system, put an ice pack in your head, cool your body, you know, temp down, whatever you need to do. And it fucking worked, you know. And then that steak you made was amazing.
Fortunate.
Couldn't enjoy it right then and there when it was hot, but I came back to it.
Steven does know how to handle meat very well.
He does. I feel like when you address anxiety, it has to be under your terms, you know?
Correct. I think, John, to that point, the larger thing, and again, this is speaking for myself, when you do get into that depression and you're dealing with that anxiety, you feel like by expressing yourself or going to someone, you're being selfish.
Yeah, being a burden.
You're being a burden on someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to do that. That's not selfish. That is unselfish.
Right.
That is an unselfish thing to do, is going and expressing yourself.
That's the kind of problem somebody has when they are a good person.
Yeah, absolutely.
They worry about they worry about the things that they shouldn't be worrying about, and they let the shit that they should be worrying about affect them.
Absolutely. And I think
I think I said that right.
Yeah. And to tie into this, Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Falcons blew another goddamn lead.
Oh, that's a whole nother depressing story. His brother committed suicide.
Yeah.
And Dak wrote a very heartfelt, wonderful post about his brother and how important it was for people to express themselves.
Sure.
And talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
You know, that's just one. You know, it's we are in the midst of a change.
Yeah.
So that
at the same time, Skip Bayless, the next day on his show, went on a rant about how unmasculine and not cool that was, which is like, hey,
I never
fuck you, Skip Bayless. You're an old piece of shit.
Anyway.
Well, I think that's a generational thing.
That's right.
They cultivated our society. That age group,
but they're still
made it what it is now.
It's still going to be an issue.
It's
still going to be an issue with.
It's going to be an issue as long as until the overall societal consensus moves on it.
Right.
Maybe that means that the older generation needs to no longer be on fucking shows.
Skip
and be able to talk about
Bayless
shit.
should get canceled.
Well, yeah,
he should.
That's what I was saying.
Not just from people's minds and their social media. I mean, from the network.
Yeah, he should.
That is not one. First of all, how fucking dare you? Two, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter your personal opinion, although those sports shows and those segments are heavily opinion based.
Sure.
That's why they get paid to say and do those things. I think he believes in his soul. I don't think that was a scripted thing. I think that was something he felt was necessary to say because he thinks and he believes in the core of who he is. It makes you weak.
Right.
And the only thing
that
he
is the
really
issue
cares
that-
about is the Cowboys winning more football games.
Right.
Yeah.
So he could give a shit about Dak Prescott's brother or Dak Prescott's mental
He ain't going to
health.
win
He
football games
wants-
by being angry.
No, he's not. He's not. And a matter of fact, he's going to win more games because
This
his teammates are
isn't
going to respect
basketball.
him.
Yeah.
His teammates are going to respect him more.
Yeah.
You know, these kids are all between 21, 22, and 30.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
95% of them are in the age bracket.
Yeah.
They're
We're older than most athletes
a little
now.
older than all them.
That's pretty
Yeah.
fucking awful.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little sad. I pull my back out getting out of my chair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I woke up
Yeah.
didn't do shit last night. I woke up today and my right leg, I couldn't walk on it. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then 10 minutes later, it I guess my blood circulated. I don't know. I'm like, this is not okay.
But you look at these locker rooms, these are young guys. These are, a lot of them are pretty smart guys.
For sure.
Sure.
Like, these aren't dumb jocks like how we pictured it.
No, most of
You
them
know,
have
with
an
leather
education.
helmets in the
Right.
60s.
It's not the 70s, 80s, or the 90s. It's the 2000s. And,
No.
and
It's the 2020s.
it's the 2020s. Sorry. Shit. I still think the 90s is
The
10 years
20s.
ago.
It's the 20s.
The 90s is not 10 years ago,
No, it's 30 years ago.
which is
At least 1990 was.
yeah. It's sorry, but you're right. And these kids are, we were talking with a friend, Steven, and the person was saying that they don't really support the NFL because none of these players get
Oh,
the union and stuff. They don't
Yeah.
get these contracts, but a
guaranteed
lot of
contracts,
A
yeah.
lot of these football players are getting their degrees and things they are gonna try to attempt to work in post football career. Not just that, but they all are following the leads of these successful, great leaders like LeBron and guys like Dwayne Wade and Udonis, guys who have invested into 7 subways and putting their money in businesses and real estate and stuff like that, so that there is something to look for. Like these
Yeah.
kids are not the Deions and the Warren Sapps, who came from nothing, which some of them still do, but they're coming from nothing with a big brother this time.
Yeah, there's a blueprint now.
The 90s
There's
were
a
very
blueprint for these
cutthroat.
athletes.
The 90s in every sport was cutthroat. No one liked anyone. There was no social media. No one went to camp together. Everyone hated everyone and wanted to fucking win.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of people don't watch sports these days, because it's a little softer. But athleticism didn't change. It didn't go anywhere. These
it's
guys,
gotten better.
Sports science is way stronger and intuitive.
Yeah.
And
Well, when Dion and Warren got in the league, there was no rookie symposium. There was no financial
Correct.
they're required to take these certain courses and
Yeah.
and understand what it is that they're getting
evaluate
involved with.
their intelligence. The Wonderlic, all this shit that
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Like Shaq spending his entire contract in a day once.
Yeah,
Sure. And then on the other hand, you got guys like Andrew Luck.
yeah.
He retired early because he cared about his well-being and his
Yeah.
health, and definitely physical because he had significant injuries. But
Yeah.
I'm sure mental as well. I'm sure mental and,
He
and
probably got all his
psychologically just
concussions in
exhausted.
college, before all his years
Yeah,
in the
just
NFL.
exhausted.
So it's CTE is a fucking thing that we with the brain that we don't know until you're dead, and sometimes it's too late. Perfect example, Aaron Hernandez. It's not a. There's so many things that we're figuring out. There's so many things we're still trying to figure out. There's things that we figured out, and everything. It's a collective effort. It's a collective, body of people trying to just overall be better in everything. Equipment has gone. The shit that I played football in.
Not okay now.
It's not. It doesn't work. And I played with 3G.
It didn't work then either.
I played with
True.
the first stages of the Revolution style helmets. And I still got a concussion.
Yeah,
Sure.
me too.
So, it's not. And players with the best, equipment. What a, we're segueing into football a little bit, but what a terrible day it was for the 49ers, franchise.
Oh yeah. No, they like literally lost every member of their team.
They lost.
Everyone.
They lost. I have it right.
They
here.
were already missing their starting tight end and starting wide receiver,
Starting
into
cornerback.
starter corner. And then they lost their starting quarterback. They lost their starting and backup centers.
Yeah.
They
QB,
lost
running back, wide
running
receiver,
back.
tight end, center, multiple defensive ends, a defensive tackle, a cornerback, another center, and a backup center. Jesus. And they still beat the Jets 31-13, by the way. So,
Which really just shows that Adam Gase shouldn't be allowed to coach football.
he's a cancer to football.
Yeah, it's just
I as an AFC East Dolphin fan, I do not want the Jets, the Bills, or the Patriots to win, but I don't wish that evil on anybody, Ricky Bobby.
I mean, you would know best. Yeah.
Yeah, we would. We fucking do. And then we went from that to like a tight end. No, that was before, but still.
Do you remember when we hired him?
We
He
had
was a
Joe
young
Philbin
guy.
2.0, sorry.
Do you remember like when we hired Adam Gase for the Dolphins? He
Yeah,
was like
it was a
young
big
guy.
deal.
We're like, oh cool, we got like a good young coach.
And he
This
brought
is
in
exciting.
he brought in fucking
Smoking Jay Cutler.
and we thought like, oh shit, we're gonna turn this guy's career around.
Well, obviously we know how that turned out. But
Yeah. With
he was a young guy.
You know how it turned
Best
out?
memes ever.
You know how it
That's
turned out?
how.
Christian Cavallari divorced Jay Cutler. So fuck the football. This guy's life. You know?
Adam Gase was a good-looking young guy with a full head of hair when we hired him, and now he looks like Joe Philbin.
Joe Philbin, who's taken too many hits of acid. Yeah.
Yeah.
His eyes are popping out of his skull when
was
he
the-
doesn't wear the sunglasses.
The Jim Carrey character from In Living Color.
Fire
Marshal Bill?
Yeah.
He's getting close to that. He's
Yeah.
getting close to that. It's
Yeah.
gonna be real rough.
That's funny as
That's
shit.
great. Jesus.
But
Football is stressful.
Dolphins,
man. Life's stressful. And you
Dolphins
wanna be a head
0-2. We have arguably, I am not a Tua fan, but arguably we have the best QB in the draft. Herbert looked fucking great.
Herbert looked incredible.
My god! And this guy did not even know he was going to play. It was a game time decision.
So
Tyrod Taylor had some bruised ribs.
there's
and
more to it, and it's super weird.
That's the
So
information
he
that
had-
he said.
He had
at
bruised
game time.
ribs, and he got an injection for it, and he started having chest pains. They took him to the fucking hospital.
Oh.
He wasn't discharged until last night. And
Maybe
there's,
a reaction to
I guess, the reaction to
Cortisone or
the
whatever the hell
cortisone
they
shot or
gave him.
something. But yeah, so Herbert found out like literally minutes before
I think it
kickoff.
was the sixth pick or something like that.
Sixth pick out
Fucking
of Oregon.
Amazing. He looked. I was watching it and
Sitting on the bench looking like
mean-
literally a high schooler.
He came out from the first snap and he carried himself
He
the
almost
best I've ever seen.
He almost beat the fucking defending Super Bowl
Pat
champions.
Mahomes literally pulled a rabbit out of the hat at the last minute.
Harrison Butker did too.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
3 kicks in a row.
He nailed a 58-yarder
penalty-
during the
first half.
During the first half, then
Yeah.
he
A 20
nailed
something.
another kick to send it to overtime.
No,
And then-
he hit the 58 and then he hit one in the second half that brought him within 7.
Right.
Then Pat Mahomes tied it, and then it went into overtime, and then he hit 3 in a row from 53.
The first one is 53, and then there was a false start penalty on that kick, so he had to re-kick it from 58. And then there was a timeout called on that one
to ice him,
which he made that one as well.
and then he made the.
So he kicks it again from
Yeah.
58.
I got
and
him in
made it
fantasy, so I was happy
again.
about that.
You suck. I hate you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he
yeah.
looks great. He looks really good. He reminded me of Peyton Manning. Like his touch, his arm strength, the way his poise. He was very pocket. Like
Yeah.
I was surprised to see it because you don't see it. Josh Allen, who you're fucking
Do you know
Your fucking
who
Bills.
currently leads the NFL in passing yards?
Josh Allen.
He does.
Yeah, and he's also up there with Brady and Manning and
Mahomes.
No. Brady and Manning. It's a very specific stat. It is.
I think I've got it open on my phone.
2 weeks into the
2 weeks in, so three times throughout before this
700
week.
yards.
Yeah, before this week, 3 times throughout NFL history.
Yeah.
It has happened that in the first 2 weeks, a quarterback had over 700 yards passing,
0
6 touchdowns or more, and 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's Brady in 2015, Peyton Manning in 2013, Mahomes last year, and Josh Allen right now.
Yeah, very good for him. Yeah,
So if I'm being super optimistic, I'm picking the Bills to lose in the Super Bowl again, right?
They will probably lose in the Super Bowl to either Tampa, because Tom Brady's just got to fucking beat us again, or to Dallas. Because either one of those would be like the perfect meme joke. I can't imagine.
Oh God, losing to Tom Brady again in the Bucs uniform.
Like, we literally wouldn't play him for the entire year because he's in the NFC, and we don't play him, and we can't play him in the playoffs because he's in the NFC. So the only way it would happen would be is if it was the Super Bowl.
That is wildly problematic, and you get the first ever.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I hope for y'all's sake that doesn't happen.
Me too.
Although, you know,
It'd
it's got to be a good
though.
feeling to like get to the Super Bowl, but
yeah.
But the Dolphins 0-2.
I mean,
there was
honestly
some upside.
they
There was some
look
upside.
like the best 0-2 team. Like, they were within.
Wow.
Sounds like compliments I've been hearing for
That's the kind of compliments
last
we have
15,
to take.
18 years.
Yeah, but, I mean, I get it.
I mean, in a trash pile, you're the shiniest
But-
fucking Capri Sun pouch.
You guys played the Patriots in week 1. Held Cam Newton, who looked incredible against the Seahawks,
Yes, they did.
to 150
That shit
passing
went to
yards.
4 seconds in the fourth.
And
Like, they all knew that fucking play was coming,
And
which
they
was
stuffed it.
mind-boggling because it's like, if we know it,
yeah.
you know the coaching staff knows it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why not just throw a slant or, a quick screen or something?
That's how you get the Seahawks throwing an interception in the Super Bowl, though.
Yep.
Well, it's different because they knew Cam was going to run it.
I know, and they knew
They knew
Marshawn Lynch was
Marshall
going
was
to
going
run
to
it.
run it. Yep. And Butler just made a stupid good play.
Like, I think Chris Collinsworth, who I fucking hate.
I mute him. I mute him.
He is
I
like, some
can't
people are like,
hear him.
oh, Chris Collinsworth just gives me like football vibes. It's that time of year.
No,
Like, I fucking hate him
He's the worst announcer in
because
any
he's
sport.
John Madden 2.0. So
I would rather have Rob Riggle.
yeah, or Joe Tessitore, anybody.
Well, Joe Tessitore's a real announcer.
I know, but I would rather him
Yeah.
as a headliner.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
But the point I was going for is that, like, the Dolphins are on 0-2, yes. But you guys almost beat the Pats. You were at in the fourth quarter against the Patriots, you were only down by 3.
right,
A
a lot of that is matchups because our coach knows.
Yeah.
Although I watched you didn't watch the game. The game looked like the Dolphins versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
There was two like wide trip plays to Edelman, like kind of deep that looked Patriot-esque, but it was definitely not the goddamn playbook of Tom Brady.
Which makes sense.
Two different playing styles. Yeah. I can't believe how much faith Belichick has in him, though. He speaks so highly of him.
Yeah.
He said that, he said before the game, there's 2 quarterbacks going into this game, and we have the better one. Yeah, and I was like,
no, Russell Wilson.
why even say something like that? Just like say that Seahawks are a good team, and we're looking for.
Yeah, but if he didn't believe in Cam Newton wouldn't be under center.
I don't know. They got him for a really good deal.
They got him for a stupid good deal. Oh my god!
I mean, at that point, what do you do?
There was
you lose Tom Brady. What do you do?
I won't be able to find it because it was a tweet and I didn't think to save it. But it was a list of all the quarterbacks all the terrible backup quarterbacks that signed deals for more money than Cam Newton is getting this year.
Significant.
And it's literally almost every single backup quarterback in the league, and then including Nate fucking Peterman,
Jameis Winston,
fucking, and Cam Newton is starting for the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And making less than all of them.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid more next year, obviously.
Sure. I think teams didn't really want him because they don't have enough room for his silly hats.
No one has enough room for his
Guy
silly
in his
hats.
bro. Get the fuck out with the hats.
Right?
You're not fashion.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I just want to see him take off one of his hats during a press conference and put it on Bill Belichick.
I like the fan that
I think the internet would die.
I like the fan that
that's good.
I don't even know if it's a Patriots fan, but someone photoshopped Cam Newton's fucking scarf over his head with the Patriots logo.
Yeah.
And it's probably my favorite thing I've seen in a
That's
long time.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But to segue a little bit back into like mental health, I think a lot of these players are very supportive of their teams. I think a lot of these guys, like this, just the support that Dak received across the NFL from like hard-nosed guys too. Like,
Yeah, no, it was great.
you know, you don't expect what's his name, the Pouncey brother. You don't expect him to.
Oh, yeah.
Marquise Pouncey.
Yeah, because he's so hard nosed. He's
they're a
played
bunch of goons.
Yeah, played with Hernandez and all them, and you just expect like certain people to be so culturally different, even though they're in the league together, because they are. You got guys from all walks of life and different hoods. You know, there's hoods that are like in the fucking boonies, which like Lumberton, North Carolina. That's a different kind of hood than Gary, Indiana, or Miami-Dade County.
Gary, Indiana.
So when you're talking about shit like that, you almost expect fuck Skip Bayless. You almost expect players, to kind of be
Continue that toxic masculine bullshit. On it.
Right, because they're at the peak of masculinity.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see it, and I love that aspect. Even in basketball, a lot of these guys with the racial inequality and the systemic racism, a lot of these guys, like Kevin, did you say Kevin Love?
Kevin Love has done a great job of saying, I thought that if I chased success, if I got, on the All-Star team, if I got, a championship, my depression would go away.
Right.
It doesn't work.
That's
like
not how that works.
It doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. You can keep chasing all this success.
Yeah, it's not going to make your depression demon not say, fuck you, you're not good enough.
Shout out to Big Mouth.
Exactly.
I think a lot of that is not just the depression demon, right? Because we know more money, more responsibilities. It was a fucking song.
I believe it was Problems, but yeah.
Yeah, we grew up.
More money, more problems, but I'm being, and a lot of it is very fucking not something we understand because we're not in that bracket at all. But
Yeah.
It's different problems. It's just different problems and different stresses. Like there's the money can't buy happiness thing. Is,
but I mean the mental high of it.
Yeah, no,
'Cause-
you just keep chasing that sustained high.
Well, yeah. Because
And
it can't
not,
happen.
It's not including any alternatives. If you smoke weed or if you party and you do drugs or whatever, everyone has their shit.
Yeah, or you drink or you don't do any of those things, and you take proper medication and everything.
Yeah.
You're still fighting.
Dealing
You're still
with shit.
struggling.
You
with
still got shit, and your shit
Yeah.
is not worse than mine. Mine is not worse than yours. It is finally, it's finally turning a page in a new leaf where people are not generalizing, and they're finally okay with addressing each individual scenario. And it's important that I think that is the focal point. It's not about me as much as it is about what I don't see and understand, and I choose to gain perspective on. So many people are set in their ways. So many people, like, doesn't matter what the topic is. Do you fucking back in when you pull up to a parking space? Well, why do you do that? We all know that guy that does that.
Yeah, he probably drives a truck that's too big for it.
Their logic is you have to back out eventually. So why not back in? So
back up first.
It's the same. It's a weird thing.
To each their own.
It is, and
To each their own.
That's the thing, right? If we can just nonchalantly say, whatever, it's fucking weird, but let him, that's what he does or that's what she does, then if you have anxiety towards this or if you have depression towards that, well, I don't understand that, but if you need to talk about it,
go for it. Try to figure that shit out.
I may not be able to give you an answer, but I'll definitely listen.
Yeah.
And that's the start, man. And I love my team. I love you guys. I love the people that have, I love everybody. If you're listening and you reached out to me, thank you. If I didn't get back to you, I'm sorry. But I love that. And that is a huge thing that helped me fucking get better. Like,
yeah.
And will continue to help me get better, because I'm not out of it now just because I'm starting to feel better. It's going to come in waves and things happen. I at least know how to address it. I know what it is. I don't have to be afraid of it. And that's me. If you're listening and that's not you and that's never been you, and you require, an evaluation with a professional, and you require constant therapy, and you require a certain, Prilosec or some kind of, not Prilosec,
Probably not Prilosec.
Prozac, sorry.
Yeah.
You should probably do it, and you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
like,
should
just
not feel bad
do
about it.
what works for you.
Get
But
the help that you need.
But the point in all of this is find out what it is.
Right.
Don't sit there and
You don't identify how to solve it by sitting in your own head.
right.
You identify how to solve it
Or thinking
talking.
you're crazy for feeling that way.
Right.
And if you know us personally, you can all reach out to us. We are not in the business of turning down people and turning down an ear or a shoulder to lean on. We fucking love you guys. We love our friends and our family, and we want all of us to succeed. We want all of us to win. We want all of us to eat at the table equally. And
I just think of Mr. Rogers.
Right.
Would
Yeah.
you be my neighbor?
would you? Yeah.
Would you be my neighbor?
Yeah. I
Our
mean, I
neighbors
don't
were
want
good.
everyone to be my neighbor, but would you
Yeah.
be my neighbor?
Yeah.
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 Even if it's a 30-minute segment.
That's it. That's just
Yeah.
that's what it means.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we appreciate you guys listening. We want you to reach out to us. Please, if you're listening, in the comment section or in the messages, whatever you need to do, let us know if there's anything.
Even direct messages. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever
It's
it
fine.
is. If there's something you're dealing with and you haven't really opened up and you've been scared, give us a holler. We'll do our best to get back to everybody. If you want to ask a specific person because you feel like you relate to what they were talking about, please reach out to us. And if you can't do that because you don't know us personally, please ask a friend, talk to a friend. If you don't have friends, get help. Go talk to a professional. There's ways. If you're not financially stable, there are nonprofits and things that are there. There's free things on social media that offer assistance and things like that. Yep. There's things out there. You just have to put yourself out there enough to require and request it.
Yep.
And if you haven't heard it today, I love you. I am here as much as I can be, and I trust that you guys are too. And with that, we want to keep it short. We want to toast to the good times.
Yeah.
Damn
to
right.
happiness.
Yeah.
To happiness. You can find it. You just gotta keep searching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's a little harder than everybody else.
Absolutely. And with that, we're gonna bounce. We love you. Keep your head up.
Love you.
It's temporary. It's gonna be okay. I promise you, it's gonna be okay. Take care, everybody.